Hi there and welcome to the post-match reaction from Ibrox, where Rangers have been defeated 4-1 at home by Lyon in the Europa League second game. Tommy, Rangers lined up with Butland, Tav, Suter, Proper, Jefte, Dio, Barron, Czerny, Lawrence, Bayrami and Dessers. What was your thoughts on the lineup and the opening first half in general?
He started with an easy one and then hit me with a harder one there. Yeah, so I think that the lineup pretty expected. Same lineup against Malmo. It's starting to become a settled side. So I don't think there was anything that anybody would naturally pull out there to say that they were disappointed or anything like that. And then we get into the first half. I'm trying to be terse here. As I thought we started pretty well. Thought we came out of the traps, created a few chances. We'll definitely talk about Václav Czerny. And then went behind pretty swiftly. After that, I think it was 10 minutes that Fofana gets his first of the night. Bit of individual errors, and that'll be a theme throughout the entire match, unfortunately for us. And then we managed to get straight back into it. And it looked like we could actually G up the crowd, because it was starting to kind of rock again. And then we run into another individual error, Connor Barron this time, and then it was getting away from us. And then right on the stroke of half time, an absolute screamer. We can talk about the fact we didn't press before that third one, but yeah, that's the terse version of the first half.
Yeah, the very, very terse version of the first half. I mean, it's such a weird game of football, because I honestly don't think Rangers played terribly. Was that, and you can let us know in the comments what you think about that after a 4-1 loss in Europe. But I mean, is it literally just a case of they have better players than us, and because that's what it seemed to be they had better players, took their chances, we didn't.
Well, yeah, I mean, for those of us who like their stats, right, which is not particularly me, it has to be said, you look at shots on target, it was 7 to them, 6 to us. Possession was 50-50. Shots off target was 5 to us, 4 to them. So there's a clinical nature to what they were doing, and you're absolutely right. Level of player, level of ability, talent, absolutely shown. We created some good moments, and there was a couple of good saves from both goalkeepers as well. Individual errors, cohesion, being able to do the right things at the final third of the pitch, taking the right pass on with a level of quality is probably what absolutely told. I mean, I know everybody will look at middle to front as well. At the back, we were a bit kind of ripped apart sometimes. But yeah, I mean, out with those individual errors and a cohesion element to it, it's hard not to look by the fact that there was quality levels on show, and yeah, you could spot it a mile away tonight.
Yeah, it's really hard to disagree with that. It's just, I don't want to say it's a setback, but it's just given how much praise we have been given, because it's been the one solid in the last sort of 4 games that Rangers have. I really wasn't expecting us to not collapse like that, but just show them as much respect as what we did.
It comes back to that golf. I'm with you as well, right? And I might not win a lot of friends with this, but one scratch doesn't damage throw out the card and all that type of stuff, scrap it. But yeah, it's a sore one to take because of the nature of the way that we came in, the nature of the way that we started, the fact that it was really howlers and it looked naive from us in certain places. Is this an absolute Europa League campaign ending performance? No, it's not. Right, that's not to say that I'm overjoyed or anything like that. It's been a really tough night and we've taken a bit of a battering here, but yeah, we carry on to the next round.
Yeah,
or the next game, I should say.
Yeah, definitely the next game.
Getting ahead of myself there.
No, it's all right. Look, I want to comment on this player tonight because I felt he had a really good game. He was not deserving of being on the end of a 4-1 scoreline, but Nadim Bayrami, the Albanian, who's playing out of position at the minute on that left. What did you think of his performance in particular tonight?
Yeah, he's a proper player. You can see the way to pass, the movement, the fact he gets his head up and goes for it. I mean, I think we've got a player there, and he did perform pretty well tonight as well, up against a good team. So yeah, that's a positive. I'm happy to concentrate on the positives, 'cause there's lots of negatives. But yeah, I thought he was really, really good tonight and showed his worth to the squad and to the team. Hoping to see more and more and more of that as we get into the season.
Yeah, so we'll come on to the second half now. For me, a bit of an odd substitution. We could see that Lawrence was struggling. He obviously took a knock when he scored the goal that Rangers got tonight. But did you? around Ibrox, I felt when Dowell, everybody could see that it was Dowell coming on. There was a bit of a light groan. Would you have said that was the correct substitution to make at that time?
Probably wouldn't have. Yeah, I mean, Lawrence for Dowell, I don't naturally see it. I'm sure other people would say otherwise. But you're also looking at the bench and you're saying, well, what would you have went with? Would you have went with McCausland at that point and tried to shuffle it? Would you have went with Igamani?
Yep.
You know, would you have done the Raskin move at that point and tried to change something? All fair comments and all fair critiques. He's went with Dowell. Dowell does not engender any sort of confidence in the support. There were more than light groans. You're being polite, and he'd one good attempt at goal that was well saved, but by and large Kieran Dowell is Kieran Dowell, and he's not going to do anything in a Rangers jersey. He's there to fill it. Why the manager went with that, I'm not entirely certain, and it didn't add anything to the team.
Yeah, again, it's really hard to disagree with what you've just said there. The next sort of big moment for me comes in the second half.
We're not going to talk about Connor Barron's pass for the...
I can if you want. I was just kind of glossing over just saying it was poor individual errors, but if you want to talk about it, fine.
No, right, okay, we'll go with that. I just think that moment coming after we'd gotten back into it by levelling up, and then the crowd were behind the team, and then that individual error, it's a really poor one from Barron. There's no two ways about it. Just seemed to take a bit of stuffing out of the stadium as well, to be honest with you.
I find it hard to criticise Connor Barron, given his age, given how well he's done coming into that team. Clement has touched on it. He has said these guys of this age will make mistakes.
Sure enough.
That is the biggest one that I can think of that Barron's made so far. The thing I'll say, I have seen better players and bigger players in a Rangers jersey absolutely collapse under the pressure of making a mistake like that.
I thought he recovered. I mean, first of all, I'm with you, right? I like Connor Barron. He's performed really, really well. With coming into the Rangers jersey means... Yeah, you understand that young players make mistakes, all players make mistakes, but coming into the Rangers jersey means you also have to stand up to that. So the critique is there. He made the mistake, it cost us a goal, right? You can talk about some of the defending and everybody going to one player to check back in, but he recovered a lot better from his mistake than Vaclav Cherny did from his brutal miss. And having watched it back again, brutal is the word that I decided to go with. There was several others in there.
What did you think of Cherny's performance tonight?
Quite poor actually, and I think he's slowly getting the tag and a lot of the support of one trick pony and getting found out and all that. He needs to find a performance soon, because I don't think there was a lot there tonight. He's one that's on the watch list. Yeah,
for me, 2 games in Malmo that he used to have 2 goals to his name in this Europa League campaign.
He's got to bury that one tonight. He's got to bury it.
It's as simple as that. But as we're talking about that in terms of, there's a weight to this jersey, the Rangers jersey, and I think he's struggling with it at the moment. When you compare that to Connor Barron, I think he's able to carry the weight of that jersey. But listen, we'll move on to the sort of big talking point in the second half. Malik Fofana, who we identified in the podcast last night as a man that Rangers should be watching out for. Give him his due. It tore us apart at times tonight with his movement, his pace. We did not know how to handle him. But Tav, for me, a bit lax at the back post. You saw him turn round, check the run, and he still didn't get to it. But you
make those mistakes against players in Scotland, it's bad enough. And James Tavernier's got that in his history books. Doing it at this level against a player like that, you're going to find yourself on the end of a 4-1 defeat. Yeah,
but 61 minutes, the captain came off.
Rightly, by the way.
It was not a mooted response, but I think it caught a lot of people off guard. Casson Wirio came on, who had an excellent game in Malmo. Played pretty well for me tonight. I know there's a school of thought of players people saying that he's on loan. We should only be using him when we absolutely have to. But for me, he just gave a bit of difference on that right side. Do you think that is a statement from Clement and maybe a hint at a changing of the guard?
Quite possible. I don't think changing of the guard anytime soon. To be brutally honest with you, I think we'll see what happens at the weekend. But yeah, I mean, I think it is a statement in terms of you've got a big European game, you're down, you're at home, and you decide to take your captain off, who's also a defender. You're making a pretty big... And didn't look there was any knock there, to be honest with you, though we'll hear about that in due course. But yeah, I think it is a statement to say that, it's a couple of times you lost guys at the back post and they end up in goals. if you're going to make a statement as the manager, you might as well make it on a big night.
See the thing that baffles me the most? That is what Tav has done to teams for the past 4 or 5 years, sneaking in at the back post. We've got to a blinking Europa League final on goals off of the back of that.
It doesn't seem to be able to read it himself.
Yeah, it's a bit baffling. But listen, my final question tonight, and maybe
this is a short one. Right, okay. I can't blame you for that.
Well, look, was that scoreline harsh on Rangers, or do you feel it was fair on the game?
Oh, that's a good one, actually. I wasn't expecting that.
It's very rare I ask a good question on this podcast, Tommy.
I think that's unfair, actually. I think on balance, it probably was fair. I think Lyon grabbed it by the scruff of the neck. Yeah, we had moments, but they looked like they were able to dominate the game. They dominated the space. They were cutting us open at will. They looked really dangerous every single time. I think that's probably fair.
I hate to say it, but to me that just reeked of Lyon still had another couple of levels to go through in the last 20 minutes, and they just...
Yeah, they could have put a foot right to the floor, and we could have found ourselves on something a little bit worse than 4-1.
I think in the grand scheme of things, anything other than... If we got anything other than the defeat tonight, we would have taken that as a positive. But it is what it is. We move on. We've still got another 6 games to play. Thank you all for tuning in, watching. We will be back on Sunday or maybe not live from here, but there was certainly a podcast from here in this ridiculous 8 o'clock kickoff that we're going to have to become accustomed to.
On that?
But take care, everybody. We'll see you all again soon.